A Quiet Place Part 2, starring Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, and Cillian Murphy, has finally been released, and it is really good. After the initial flashback scene, the film continues from where the last one left off, and while there are some unresolved issues, such as the swarms of monsters that were seen on the camera, that they don't seem to encounter, the film continues to play out and is good. However, at a certain point throughout the film, the pace increases, the tension rises, and the film gets far better, cementing it as better overall than the previous film, when initially it seemed like it wasn't going to be as good. It was definitely worth the wait and watch. Each of the characters are strong, especially the children. The film ends almost abruptly, ready for the third film, which I hope to discuss in a future video. If you haven't already, feel free to like, comment and subscribe with the notification bell turned on so that you can see all of my upcoming content and get notified for it. From here on out, I'll be discussing spoilers. You have been warned. Cillian Murphy's character is one that perhaps in some ways seem unresolved. This isn't really an issue, as he shows clear development in the film. However, I just hope that he gets a final resolved arc and final moment in the third film, whether that be at the end or somewhere, as the final moments of this film were for the children, each having similar parallel moments of killing one of the monsters each, using the high-frequency speakers. Stylistically, this is especially satisfying, as the boy gets to save and help his mum, which was discussed previously in the first film, and the daughter gets a moment to show her bravery in a positive light, saving Emmett Murphy's character after he saved her previously. However, Emmett still has great character development, helping the family and the daughter especially, as well as the other families in the village, which is something he had previously resented from doing. The boy's character had a great final moment, yet I feel as though it could have been more well earned, having extra moments to show his bravery and lead up to that point beforehand, so that him killing the monster felt slightly less abrupt, as he spends quite a bit of the film sitting in one of the bunkers, almost dying of oxygen loss. However, we do see him exploring and looking around, showing an increased sense of bravery than he had in the previous film. Emily Blunt's character is less in the spotlight here, as the spotlight is more on the children. However, this works well and she plays her role compellingly, and her character is still great. Thematically, the theme of family that Krasinski was using throughout the first film continues to shine through. This works very positively, as the children are in essence continuing their father's legacy. Lines such as Emmett saying how the girl is like her father in a good way adds to this, and the children standing up to the monsters as their father did to save them feels satisfying, as it's almost a reverse, them now saving the adults, which before the adults saved them. The camera work is stellar, creating tension and making the film have that extra level of quality. For example, various longer shots were used at the start, and they worked very well. However, one very long shot at the start might have worked even better, but this is just nitpicking. The plot continues on fairly naturally and works well, making sense apart from a few plot holes which could quite easily be dismissed. I feel as though the key idea of being quiet was slightly inconsistent, as although they gave various ways for why the characters could be louder, sometimes I questioned why there wasn't a monster arriving at the scene because they'd made a certain noise or they'd whispered, when in the previous film they'd barely whispered at all. All in all, this film was a blast, entertaining, tense and satisfying. And while there are some minor issues, such as the ones I've discussed, as well as the use of foul language, which is always a letdown, A Quiet Place Part 2 definitely lives up to the hype, making you beg for more, but also being somewhat unsatisfied. It currently has a 91% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that's definitely a fair score for the film. And I definitely recommend watching it if you're old enough. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button. If you want to see more content, hit the subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notified when I make more videos. Thanks.